holidays. I'm Jenny Q. I'm your host today. I'm joined by Julie Babcock-Hyde. She is the CEO and founder of Spark Accounting Solutions. We have kind of a fun Christmas edition of the Spark Accounting Show. Hi, Julie.
Hello. I'm looking forward to a little light topic with still some meat to it today.
Yes, indeed. Like, I was really impressed with the list you came up with to talk about 5 things you can learn from Santa to grow your business. And I really quickly want to point out, we did not plan this festive wardrobe pairing here. This is just called serendipity.
It's perfect. It's a little Christmas miracle, I guess.
It definitely is. Okay, so let's just jump in. You've got 5 tips, 5 things you can learn from Santa to grow your business. So I want to just dive right in. And what is number 1?
Number 1 is, we know one thing Santa does, and he does it twice. He checks his list to see who's naughty and nice. And so when you're thinking of this for your small business, there's a lot of ways that you can apply your own naughty and nice list. The first one that comes to mind for me is, every now and again, it's really important to do a naughty and nice list for your customers. Do you have customers that nobody likes to work with, that everybody in the team would be happier if you got, let them move on to get service from somebody else? That's okay. That's okay. Another, you really want to look through that, because sometimes you've got customers that just nobody wants to work with. And those take the energy. When the phone rings and you're like, oh no, it's the guy on 4th Street. One of his blades of grass is longer than the rest. They're going to have to go out there with a pair of scissors. You don't need that level of energy. You don't want, anytime your phone rings and you see a number, to be like, oh no, not them. So look at those customers. So there's people that are just not pleasant to work with. There's people that are just not profitable to work with as well. And so really looking at that naughty and nice list, maybe you have an entire group of clients that have a specific, demographic. Maybe they are all have a special application that they want on their lawn. Maybe they all have a special type of, thing that you have to buy extra that costs more than everything else, and you're less profitable on those jobs. Look at that. That can be a way to get on the naughty list as well. Now, some of these things are easier to fix than others. Difficult clients that are just unpleasant are probably never going to get fixed. Sometimes they can be. Sometimes you can be just like, hey, you're not being very nice to my people. What's going on with that? Sometimes you can have that conversation and they're like, oh, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that, and fix it.
Yeah.
But occasionally that happens. Most people that are unpleasant are just generally unpleasant, but sometimes you can fix it. But if you're just not charging enough for something that costs you more, you may need to just bump up rates. And then they go from being on the naughty list to being on the nice list, because you're getting compensated fairly for the work you're doing. Okay. You may find complete service lines that you just don't want to do anymore because it's just not profitable.
It's not even about the customer.
It's not about the customer. It's just like, hey, we don't want to do this anymore. It takes too much focus away from this. We want to focus on this. And you can let that whole service line go. You may be able to sell off that part of your business. But so looking at the naughty and nice list on the customer side and on the revenue side, but there's more. You can also look at your naughty and nice list for your employees as well.
Ooh, okay.
Same kind of thing. Do you have people that are constantly causing problems? Have you addressed the issue? As small business owners, we get very busy and it's hard to find time to deal with team issues sometimes, and they get put off to the back burner. So look at that naughty and nice list. Make sure your nice employees are getting rewarded, want to be there. Naughty list, you're doing corrective active plans, talking to people, and trying to get everybody on the nice list for employees as well.
Okay. Now I'm going to ask you a question, guys. I'm going to flip it a little bit. What about the nice list? Do you reward them for your customers and or employees?
It really depends. When you're thinking about the nice list for your customers, we talk a lot like in the marketing world about, who's your target client, who's your ideal client. And a lot of times the reward, if you can get a full book of your ideal client, is that you have a ton of job satisfaction and you're doing an excellent job taking care of those customers because you specialize them and you know what you're doing.
Mhm.
So it's not necessarily a like, hey, I'm going to give you a bonus customer because you're super nice. You may give people a holiday gift. It's up to you what you want to do. But really the thing here is about like developing this ideal business for yourself where you are able to meet the needs of your customers.
Okay. All right. I love it. I love the concept of just making a list. What I like is it kind of forces you to be objective
Yeah.
about what's going on in your business and not, emotionally engaged with it.
Yes. Yeah. And
Mhm.
it's really great to get, I know other like accounting professionals that will send an email out to their team and be like, if you could fire any client, who would it be?
Oh, interesting.
And not only, and you can ask your team that too, because not only
Sure.
does that make your team feel heard and like you care
Mhm.
about their feelings and you care about their opinions and you care about them being happy and not working with miserable people. But it also, it also helps, clear those people that nobody wants to work with off your list as well. So
Yes.
that's
Okay.
wonderful.
Perfect. All right. All right. So good. Okay. So we're on the 5 things you can learn from Santa to grow your biz. Let's jump into number 2. Listen to your customer wish list.
Santa spends a lot of time in malls. Santa spends a lot of time all over the place,
Checking emails,
checking emails,
text messages,
listening to
phone calls,
listening to
letters.
blogs, letters, um,
Oh,
asking
exhausting.
people very directly what they want from Santa. And this is a really important thing that, as you're thinking through this piece of Santa's job, he's really dialed in to what people want. And the easiest way to have raving customers is to really look and listen to what they need from you. And you can also potentially identify additional services that you're not providing that you could add on that might even bring more value to a contract with your customers. If you can be like, oh, you want this and this? Cool, we can do all of that at the same time. So this gives you the opportunity to really make sure you're meeting your customers' needs. And when we were just talking about like the nice list and really identifying those ideal customers and really identifying like what you really specialize in and what you do best, this is another place where these two things can kind of match up and say, here's the stuff that we do really well. Here's the stuff our customers want. How do we get raving fans out of this? Customers that love this, how do we meet their needs? And the best way to find out exactly what they need and what they're hoping they get from you is to ask them and have that conversation and say, hey, how are things going? What else do you wish we could do for you that we're not doing for you? And find out those pieces of information. It's can feel like an uncomfortable conversation, but if you really keep in mind that your goal is like, how do we serve you best?
Yeah, for sure.
And come at it with an attitude of service and understanding rather than they're not going to attack you. They're not going to
Right,
attack you,
right, right.
but they may honestly say, yeah, I really wish that you would do this or this. And you'd be like, oh, cool, we could do that. Do you want to add that on? And
Yeah, yeah.
it's a great way to potentially get add-ons and really understand and develop your service line and your service options so that they meet the needs of your ideal customer.
Well, and if I may just add a little
Please
something,
do.
something. Those needs change depending on what's going on in the world, the community, individual lives. So, on my podcast recently, I interviewed Santa, and spoiler alert, he said that the kids this year are asking for I'm just going to tell you, but he was so thrilled because the kids were asking for musical instruments more than ever before. And what caused the shift? Who knows? Doesn't matter, but he's seeing it over and over and over and over again. If he hadn't been listening to the kids
Yeah.
climbing on his lap, he would have still been delivering video games.
Yeah, I mean, it's an excellent point with Santa and with our customers. Like, we've got to find out what's going on because things do change, needs change, wants change. I think we've seen a lot of change, a
Mhm.
lot of weird change that probably none of us would have ever expected over the last 2 years.
Wait, you can say that again with
Yes.
an exclamation point. Yeah.
Yes, and so
Mhm.
and so it is a really valid point. What somebody like if you asked customers 2 years ago what they wanted, they might tell you something totally different now. So
Yes.
it's a
Yes.
great point.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Number 3, find ways to incorporate extreme efficiency. I think we can all agree that Santa is the master at this.
Yes, like
Mhm.
anybody that can get through the whole world in
Mhm.
one night, up and down
Mhm.
chimneys,
Mhm.
get the right presents delivered to the right people, have all the right things. Like it's amazing. And I don't
In
think
fact,
even if
extreme efficiency might even be an understatement, but
it
we'll go
it
with that.
really might be. And so, as we look at our business and we look at ways to grow and we look at ways to grow our profitability, efficiency is key because efficiency means that we are doing more with less. It could be less material, it could be less time, it could be less team, it could be less like how do we do this? And really taking a minute. For a lot of people this is a little bit slower time. And so having a minute to think about, gosh, what are things that we do over and over and over again that we might be able to automate? Hey, let's find that out. What are things that we do that we could, sync with another system and have this stuff happen automatically that we're not even doing right now?
Mhm.
What are we doing because we've already always done it and our clients don't care if they get it or not?
Right.
Going back to the wish list, because there's a lot of times that we do things in our business because we've always done it and we think that people want us to keep doing it. But if you go and look and you're like, oh, so like in the accounting world, oh, nobody actually looks at that report that I send. Why am I doing it? What's the purpose
Right.
of it?
Right.
Why did I start doing that? Is there a different way to meet that need that takes 5 minutes instead of 50 minutes? Look at all of those things and really look at that. When, other things for efficiency that you can be looking at. I'm pretty sure that Santa's got a pretty good GPS routing system to get him to everywhere, on time to the right places, not
With
missing
the right
anybody's
gift. Yeah.
house,
Mhm.
not rerouting all the time. And so, again, if you are a home service provider, um, getting your service trucks out to the right places in the most efficient route is big. Fuel costs are going up. If we can find ways to
Yeah.
get, like service this part of town on Tuesdays, this part of town on Wednesdays to cut down on drive time and fuel, it's a great idea. If we can find ways to say, you know what, we don't want you to go from point A over here to point here to here to here to here. Let's go here, 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 and let's do this guy over here tomorrow. Looking at those routing options for efficiency is another thing you can do. Um, Avoiding multiple stops. If Santa had to go to every house twice because he forgot the toy, it would be a problem. And so really thinking about first time completion on home repairs. What do you need to
Oh,
have in the truck? How do you get it all done the first stop? I mean, Santa can't go twice. He doesn't have time.
well, and it would be a mess because if he delivered the toys and then the kids woke up and then they saw and then he came back, like that's just a mess.
Yeah, it is a mess, and nobody likes their repair person to come back twice either. Like in a perfect world, they show up, everything's fixed, they have all the parts, and they aren't like, I gotta go get that. It's gonna be 3 days. Nobody wants to hear that when
No.
they're waiting for their stove to get fixed on Thanksgiving. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to hear that.
No, fix it.
So
Mhm.
again, thinking about efficiency, it's not just one thing or another. You can look at time, you can look at materials, you can look at drive time, you can look at fuel that you're using, you can look at staff time that you're using. All of those things play into efficiency, and there's opportunities in both delivery of services and in the administrative work that you're doing back at the office as well. Scheduling, billing, all of that stuff has efficiency opportunities. And so this is an important Santa lesson to learn. How do we get it all done?
It really is.
It is.
Okay, I love the seriousness, but it is a great lesson. Okay. Number 4, don't shy away from a photo op with a satisfied customer. Now, think about it. If Santa didn't allow his photo taken, he would not have achieved the level of fame that
Absolutely.
he has. Like, it just wouldn't have happened.
Santa's got some amazing brand recognition. And he does. He does. And I think we all would love a little bit of that level of brand recognition for our own business. So number one, like making sure, if you are taking pictures, your team's in uniforms, you've got your truck or your van in the background.
Love it.
Number one. Number two, let's get a satisfied customer. Let's show people what you're doing. Everybody knows what Santa's delivered because the kids had that picture with whatever their prized possession is that year. And so we know that Santa's delivered. We know Santa's made somebody happy. And we can see what that looks like. And we also see Santa interacting with people. And don't shy away from these photo ops. Letting people, like, again, brand recognition. Let people see you out there doing things.
Yep.
Let people know what you do. It's really great to be like, hey, this is a before and after.
I love those. Who doesn't love a good before and after?
Yeah, before and afters are beautiful. It's really great to do like education pictures. If you go out to a house because like the pipes on the I can't even think of the word because the pipes rotted out and started leaking.
You just start acting it out. I got
Exactly. We're gonna
Yeah.
play charades instead. So pipes break. Take a picture, show what happened. Let people see what they are not seeing underneath their house and why they need you to come out and do an inspection. Show these things, let people know how you can benefit them both with pictures and with words. And we hear so many words and we see so many pictures all the time. It gets overwhelming and it's a lot easier to process a quick picture saying, oh, look at how nice that paint job looks.
Yep.
Than it is to be like, I paint your house and we use this brand of paint and we did, just show me how pretty it is. Let's do it. So don't shy away from those photo ops. Show what your team's out there doing, show what you're working on, show what the results are, and show your brand so people know it's you.
I like that a lot. Branding, international, global recognition is really the goal.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
Amazing.
All right. Number 5. Now, Santa really, we kind of know, mostly from all the movies,
Exactly.
that Santa doesn't do it all on his own. Come on.
No, he doesn't. I mean, we've got the elves making the toys. I don't know exactly what Mrs. Claus does, but I'm sure she's busy. I'm sure she's busy.
Well, I don't know what she does either. But
I don't think she gets enough recognition for what she's doing, but I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
We've got Rudolph, we've got the reindeers, we've got elves making the toys, we've got the elves working on R&D. Like we've seen this in the Santa Claus. They are like doing R&D and improving the sleigh. Christmas Chronicles, we saw it again. The elves are doing R&D and improving technology.
Right.
And so when you're looking at your team, we've got to make sure we've got, hey, somebody's got to be doing the books for you. Somebody's got to be delivering services for you. Somebody's got to be handling your technology to make sure that you are able to do things more efficiently. Somebody's got to be helping you with the legal side of things. Somebody's got to be helping you with the marketing side of things. Looking at all those different places that you need a team around you and really evaluating like what's working, what's not working, where do we need more help? Do we need to bring in extra elves because all of the Jack in the Boxes are broken and we have to fix them? Let's get them in so that we can get that fixed in our business too. Figure out where the holes are in your team and get those holes filled and really recognize the parts that are working well for you too.
I love it. That's so good. Team. Well, what is that quote where, I don't know, I'm going to mess it up. Something about if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together or something.
Something like that. Yeah. I mean, that team is so important. Like if Santa was having to make presents and somehow magically fly himself?
Well, think about it. How would Santa be able to be at the malls all December if he was making the presents?
He couldn't. He
No.
couldn't. And if he didn't have all of his extra helpers to make sure like the kids stayed in the right line and got in time, got on the lap in time for the picture, he's got elves helping him with that. I mean, he's
True.
got a lot of help.
He has a lot of help.
He has a lot of help. And we all need it with our business. So make sure you've got that support. So many small business owners start out and they're wearing every single hat, right?
Which is fair,
Which is
right?
like when your budget is not big, you have to do that. But as the business grows, it's really important to understand where your best and most useful purpose is
Yeah.
and let other people help you with the pieces that don't require your own unique special sauce.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. I love it. And now you have a Christmas holiday gift for people.
Yes, I do. We are, as usual, giving out the core chapters of the book Profit First. This is a time when everybody automatically starts to think about the next year and think about goals. And this is a book that can really help you figure out how to meet your financial goals. And
Now,
so, yeah.
what will people learn from the 5 core chapters? Because sometimes with books, we think, well, we have to read the whole thing to really get everything. So I love that it's the core chapters are, but here, just 5.
So the 5 core chapters are really going to explain to you like how and why Profit First works and the basics of implementation. It's going to walk you through kind of what the process, why it works, and exactly how it works.
Perfect.
There's extra details in the other chapters, but you can get a good idea of like what the system is, how you can manage your cash to help feed your business as opposed to losing all your money and feeding your cash eating monster.
There it is. So it's bit.ly/sparkpfbook. So Profit First Professional, Julie Babcock Hyde. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for watching. If you have questions, go ahead and reach out to Julie directly. If you're watching on Facebook, just go to Facebook, contact us. But if they're not watching on Facebook, where is the best place to contact you?
If you go to sparkaccountingsolutions.com, we have got a way to schedule a discovery call with us. So feel free to go over there and grab that and tell us more about your business and what you need.
Perfect. Easy enough. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. I hope Santa's nice to you.
Well, thank you. And likewise.